Good morning, dear ones, and happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Mine was full of creative activity, and I really enjoyed being inspired, and my actions were really inspired this weekend. And I hope that you all did something beautiful for yourself. If you feel that you are having difficulty doing something loving for yourself, then take 10 minutes every day and enjoy at least these little self-loving episodes that you can watch and remind yourself of how divine you are and how beautiful you are. There's no room for scolding or criticism. It is all just about self-love. So today I'd like to continue with our universal laws, and number 5 in my books is the law of cause and effect. Now, the law of cause and effect, also known as the law of karma, states that any action causes a reaction, and that whatever you put out, good or bad, you get right back. To harness the power of this law, be aware of how your actions and decisions are affecting not only yourself, but everyone around you, and focus on sending out the good vibes only. So the universal law states that nothing happens by chance or outside the universal laws. Every action has a reaction or consequence, and we reap what we sow. The law of cause and effect, action and reaction, is also known as equilibrium. Every action will have its corresponding consequences, whether favorable or unfavorable, and it applies to all existent things. Personal karma operates on the physical, emotional, and mental levels. The only decree of karma, an eternal and immutable decree, is absolute harmony in the world of matter as it is in the world of spirit. It is not, therefore, karma that rewards or punishes me, but it is me, who, along with nature, abiding by the laws on which that harmony depends, makes or breaks them. There's no such thing as coincidence. Each and every decision we make, no matter how large or small, has an effect or consequence. We make that decision based on, or it is caused by, our current circumstances, influences, the knowledge that we have, and what we think may be best for us at that particular time. An easy explanation of this is that each and every choice is like a fork in the road. If we decide to go left, then that path has its own comforts, dangers, scenery, people we may meet along the way. And similarly, should we have made the decision to take the right-hand fork, it has its own set of comforts, dangers, people we meet, karmic purpose, etc., etc. We may not know that the chosen path entails at that particular time. We cannot see ahead. But we choose the path, and whichever path we choose, we've got to stick with that, because we cannot go backwards and choose a different path. We have to learn and adapt to the experiences we encounter on the path we choose and deal with the effect of that choice. So when we decide to go one way or another, we make those decisions based on our current situation. We make those decisions based on what has come before as well, the knowledge that we have gathered over the years. And we look at those decisions as creating our next step. Now, when you look at driving a car at night and you look at how far in front the lights can show you, you cannot see until the end of your destination. Okay, you can only see a few meters in front of you. Doesn't matter how good your lights are or how bright they are. Still, they will not see to the end of your destination. Very often we actually go to a place knowing the journey, or perhaps having a map next to us or a GPS or whatever. But the reality is that even though we are moving in that particular direction towards that particular goal, we cannot see that goal as such in reality until we actually arrive to it. And this is the part of faith in us, so that if we are choosing a certain goal, it's very, very important for us to visualize that goal and then thank that it has already been attained. Because it's about the journey. It's about how we decide to move one step in front of the other. Now, also bear in mind that in life, you and another person cannot walk the exact same path. You might find that it is a track like you would find in the wild, where two paths might be parallel, like a track made by a car, and that it does go in the same direction towards the same goal or destination. But what you will find is on that path, even though they are parallel, there will be different encounters of different things. One side might be a bit rockier than the other. It might have a cliff face that goes all the way down, and the other side might have something that goes up, or perhaps it's got a lot more flowers, or there might be a puddle there. So although we might, as in a relationship, choose to walk a similar path towards the same destination as our partners, we are not experiencing that particular journey in the same way, although we are on a similar parallel path towards the same destination. And once one of us decides to go in a different path or walk at a different pace, you now are no longer moving towards the same destination anymore. Now, when we bring things back to the law of cause and effect, when we understand that what we send out is what we receive, that's also the law of rhythm. When we send that out, when we send out the hate towards a situation or an upset towards a situation, that karma, that will come back to us. So whatever decision we make, there is something that is attached to that we will have to live with at a later stage. We may not necessarily know what it is at this particular moment in time, but we will eventually understand what karma that particular decision had with it, what cause and effect it had. So a lot of the times what's happening is the cause is making you make that particular decision, and the effect of your decision is obviously what comes back to you. So what decisions are you making today? When you make the decision to love yourself, when you make the decision to forgive others, you are sending that forgiveness energy out. Whether it is discussed or not, the energy is already sent out, and the effect of that is going to be a very positive effect. When we forgive ourselves and when we forgive others, the cause of our hurt is no longer there anymore. So when we are no longer hurting anymore, other people will immediately feel that. They may not necessarily be able to put their finger on it and say, that's what it is. That person's forgiven somebody that they've held a grudge against for such a long time. If you have a situation where somebody has done something to you and you are still choosing to be a vessel for the negative energy associated with that act, because bear in mind, we've done forgiveness before, but I'm going to just remind you, forgiveness is not about condoning the act that was perpetrated against you. Forgiveness is about not choosing to be a vessel for the negative energy that is attached to that act. So when we forgive somebody, we let go of that negative energy. We now no longer hold on to that negative energy, and that is going to affect the other person and all of those people around us that were involved with that. So we have karma here. We have the law of cause and effect. Once you forgive yourself and others, the effect is that you will love yourself more Not only because you've forgiven the other person, but because you've forgiven yourself, and you're no longer holding on to that. So that toxicity is now no longer in your body. It's no longer in your spirit, and you're no longer sending that out with everything that you do. So today, dear ones, remember to love yourself more than anything else, because when you love yourself, loving others just comes naturally, because it exudes like perspiration from your pores. Namaste. Remember the 4 agreements and the 5 Reiki principles, and I look forward to your comments and questions. Have a good Monday. Mwah.